Have you ever met a woman who was just it? And not because she's very loud or trying to prove anything, but because she's so grounded and she's so sure, so deeply herself that the room shifts whenever she enters. This video is about her and how you can become that version of her. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 daily habits that changed everything for me. We're going to be focusing on real systems, mindset shifts, and these are things that have really helped me to stop spiraling in my life and really live with clarity. So if you feel like your life is all over the place, if you feel like the routines that you set out for yourself just aren't sticking, and if you also feel like your energy is scattered and all over the place, then I believe that this video is perfect for you. This video will be your reset. This video will be everything that you need to implement in your life so you can be that version of yourself that you've always wanted to be. Of course, before we start the video, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Owning your time. Time is so valuable. We are merely made of time. We're literally like ticking time bombs. One thing that we know that we're guaranteed in this life is that we are going to pass away. That is a given. Everyone believes that we're going to pass away, whether you are religious, non-religious, whatever it is. We all know that our final destination is death, and that is a guarantee. And we know that we're all made up of time and that every single day that we live on this earth is precious time. And the question you need to ask yourself is, what are you doing with your time? How are you spending your time? What is it that you are doing every single day that is going to get you closer to the person that you want to become? Do you feel like the way that you spend your days is getting you closer to becoming her, or further back? You need to sit and ask yourself that. Time is not something that you just find, it is something that you have to claim. You have probably, at least once in your lifetime, experienced the spiral of reacting to someone else's urgency. But the minute you live in reaction mode, you are already losing yourself. Owning your time means choosing what deserves your attention. You have to design your day with intention. You have to create and block out your priorities. Creating blocks for your priorities and leaving room for rest. You cannot rush from task to task. You have to be able to move with clarity and be very clear about who you want to become and what your plan is. Now, I will say it is normal to be confused. It is normal to not know what direction you're going into. So let me give you an example of what this could look like. This is Emel. Emel is a freelance UX designer, and she is someone who really juggles with multiple clients. She has so many different clients. She's always busy. She has her own creative projects. She also is working on a part-time master's degree. She is a busy woman. Now, she used to feel constantly overwhelmed because she had so much on her plate. She was always jumping from one thing to the next, not really understanding how she could manage all of these different things that she had in her day-to-day. And she felt like even though she was working on these things, she didn't have a sense of completion. She felt like things weren't actually getting done. But what actually changed for her is when she started implementing themed days. And this is what a themed day would look like. For example, Mondays are for admin. Tuesdays and Thursdays are for her deep creative work. And Fridays are for her light client-facing days. And what she did here was added buffers between the different tasks and stopped saying yes to every single opportunity that came to her. Instead, she created these digital boundaries so that it would be easier for her to complete the tasks that she set out for herself to do during the week. Not only did her output improve, but she finally had the time to actually enjoy the life that she was building. And now Emel is happy and Emel is thriving. Remember, boundaries are a part of owning your time. So that means you're allowed to say no to the wrong things so that you can say yes to the things that actually align with what you want for yourself. If you don't design the life that you want for yourself, someone else will. And your time is the most powerful currency that you have. So you need to spend it like you mean it, okay? Because you only have one life in this life, and the best thing that you can do is spend it wisely and be intentional of how you choose to spend your days. Stagnation is the death of expansion. And I truly believe that the top 1% of women are women who know that they are not done evolving and are continuously trying to learn. And they're also not afraid of being beginners when it comes to learning something new. And they're always asking questions. They're always open to learning something different. They don't chase trends, okay? They do not chase trends. I know that this is something to really think about because I think that it's very easy to hop onto something because everybody else is doing it. Someone who's very grounded and is learning something because it's something that she wants to do, not because everybody else is doing it. And if everyone else happens to do it and it's something that she wants to do, fair enough, but she's not doing it because of that. She's doing it because it's something that she wants for herself. You really have to learn to stop aiming for perfection and just allow yourself to be curious and learn new things. I hit a point in my life where I wasn't necessarily burned out, but I was operating on very outdated systems because my routines weren't working for me anymore. anymore because my life was completely different than what it was, let's say, a year ago. But I didn't actually know why that was the case. I didn't understand it. That's when I took the class Productivity Masterclass, Principles and Tools to Boost Your Productivity by Ali Abdal over on Skillshare, which is the sponsor of today's video. What I really love about Ali's class is he talks about not necessarily squeezing every single little thing into your schedule, but instead learning how to work smarter and really using tools and systems that will not only reduce that friction, but will support your energy and help you to focus on what actually moves the needle. Taking this class has genuinely changed the way that I approach my days. You can find classes on interior design, journaling, marketing, social media, visual storytelling, illustration, and even how to design your ideal daily routine, all taught by people who are actually doing it and not just talking about it. The platform is packed with real experts who teach from experience and not just theory. Now, here is the best part. Skillshare has just launched an incredible new offer where you can use the link in my description box below or scan the QR code on screen, and the first 500 people to sign up will receive 20% off their first year using Skillshare. You will also get a 7-day free trial and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can try it risk-free today and explore everything that Skillshare has to offer. So this is your sign to stop guessing, to start growing, and find better ways to implement how you want to use your time and really choosing to invest in your growth with intention. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Let's carry on with the rest of the habits. Sticking to the plan and not your mood. Most people will make a plan of the things that they want to do, and then they will throw it out of the window when it starts to get completely uncomfortable. And the reason they do this is because they have an idea of what they want for themselves. They have an idea of what their plans are for themselves. But when it comes to actually doing the thing, it starts to get hard. Women who are really sure of themselves stick to the plan. They work with their plans. For example, something that has really worked for me is I literally cannot sleep before I go to bed without knowing what my day looks like tomorrow. I open my calendar and I will write my top 3 things that need to get done tomorrow. And when I wake up, I will stick to that plan. This is really good because not only does it ease your anxiety because you already know what to look forward to and what your day is going to look like, but it also gives you structure because you're just going to do those 3 things. Nothing more and nothing less. Whatever you've planned, you've done. At the same time, it's not overwhelming yourself with too much to do. Now, the reality of life is no matter how much sometimes you structure your days, things can completely spiral and be thrown off your course because something may come up, schedules may change, a meeting may get canceled, and your calendar will be all over the place. But when that happens, you shift and you reprioritize. You don't abandon it. You don't let that thing go and tell yourself that it's too difficult to do, or you're going to do it next week, or it isn't the right time to start that thing. You stick to your plan, not your mood. Your mood follows action. And discipline is truly a love letter to your future self because when you stay disciplined, you are respecting your sense of self. Where people tend to get it wrong is they'll create a plan and then they'll wait for the perfect mood before they start implementing that plan. Women who are at the top 1% actually honor the plan that they've created for themselves and stick to it regardless of how they feel. Motivation is a luxury, not a strategy. You need to learn to rely on structure, even on days when it's really hard, even on days when you feel really bored. Sticking to that plan feels completely inconvenient. You do it anyways. When you show up for your commitments, regardless of how you feel, your brain will also start to believe you. Next is to honor your privacy. You do not need to overshare and share every single thing that you're up to, every single thing that you're working on, what your plans are for the future, what you want to do in the next 5 years. You don't need to share every single thing. And I think that there can be a healthy balance between what you choose to share and what you choose to keep private. You're protecting the things that are important to you, but also you're not performing for approval. You're doing it for yourself and what you can prove for yourself. And I think that the things that are most sacred to you in your life should be protected and kept private. There is no need to broadcast every single thing that you do. And I also believe that privacy builds peace and builds power. Now, I literally share 2% of what goes on in my life. 98% of that is not shared. And I do that intentionally because keeping things private is a way of respecting myself and honoring the things that are important to me and the things that I choose to keep sacred. You do not owe access to anyone. You do not owe an explanation to anyone in terms of what you're up to. You don't owe access to your process, to your pain, to your progress, whatever it is. You do not owe people access to that. That is something that is sacred to you. There's something so beautiful about keeping quiet and just letting your results speak for themselves. I do believe that sharing has its place for, vulnerability, connection, community, but not everything needs to be shared and not everything needs to be posted or explained to other people. And I think that sometimes the best way that you can protect your growth is by being silent and just letting your life make the announcement. You don't need to share every single thing. If I'm going to relate this into the context of Islam, I'm not talking about hesed and evil eye and all of that, because I truly believe that if you focus too much on evil eye, you are putting evil eye above Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is literally very closely aligned to shirk. Yes, evil eye is real, and yes, evil eye can affect you, and we know this. However, there are things that you can do to protect you from hesed and evil eye. If you want to share good news to the world, whatever reason that you have for sharing, do your morning and your evening adhkars, and nothing will harm you. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection is much greater than hesed and evil eye. So don't be too swept up on, oh my God, evil eye is going to affect me. Oh my God, it's because of evil eye. It's because of evil eye. No, it's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained for that thing to happen, and it was meant to happen. So when I say to be private, I'm not saying to do it out of fear of being affected by the evil eye. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because if that is your mindset, it will take you 10 steps behind, because now you're operating in life through the lens of fear. It will be 10 times harder for you to succeed in life if you have that type of mindset. The better mindset is, I'm keeping things private because these things are important to me and I honor them and I want these things to be protected, but I'm still doing my morning and evening adhkars. I still know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting me. So if I do choose to share these things or people find out about the things that I'm up to, I know that I'm protected at the end of the day. So it is what it is. So dress like the woman that you are becoming now. I feel like people may have their own views on this, but I truly believe that when you dress well, you feel good, you feel better. You know what? And this may be something that I feel personally. I feel like when I put an effort with how I dress and how I look, I feel 10 times better, and I show up in the world dressing well, dressing clean, putting my best foot forward when it comes to how I dress and present myself. And I'm not talking about this from a lens of vanity. It's more about your energy and the energy that you're placing within yourself and how you want to share that with the world. How you present yourself shapes how you feel, and how you feel will determine how you show up. There is no need to wait for a special occasion in order to dress up and feel good. Every single day is a special day. Every single day is an occasion. Choosing your outfit with intention is a form of self-respect, because it's telling your brain that I matter and I'm worth showing up for. I'm worth putting in the effort to look good. I'm worth putting on a really nice outfit. I'm worth taking care of myself. I'm not saying that you need to spend and have a designer wardrobe. That's not what I mean. But you do need clarity in terms of how you want to feel. Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel feminine? Do you want to feel grounded? Do you want to feel creative? And build your wardrobe around that. Dressing well is not necessarily about impressing other people, but it's more about reinforcing your identity and how you choose to present yourself so that these opportunities will arise. I feel like when I dress really well, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that, I feel like when I dress well, I feel good, and how I act around people and the confidence that I exude is just so different. And I swear it brings different types of opportunities for me. I just feel like when you look the part, you act the part. Acting a part, that's how you become her. No need to do what everybody else is doing. Find things that work for you and make you feel confident. You need to define your own version of success. Success looks different for everybody, and everyone has their own definition of success. What I believe is success is very different to what my friends believe is success. And one of the biggest traps for ambitious women is chasing other people's definition of what success is without actually stopping to ask, what is success to me and what do I actually want? I believe that the top 1% of women aren't just focusing on trying to climb the ladder, but they're really looking at whether or not the ladder is leaning against the right wall. Sometimes that's going to look like peace. Sometimes it's building something meaningful, even if it's very slow. Take time to really sit with yourself and reflect. Reflect, 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 reflect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even tells us himself, reflect. Do you not reflect? We need to reflect as human beings. And I think when you sit with yourself and you ask yourself the right questions, you will have so much clarity. Ask yourself, if no one was watching me right now, if I had no one in the room and it was just me, what kind of a life would I like to have? What would my life look like? When you know what success means to you, comparison loses its power. You become less reactive and more grounded in the path that you're meant to be on. It's like Maya Angelou said, that success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. You need to live a life that makes sense to you. That is what real success looks like. When you know what you want, when you're sure of yourself, when you understand yourself, that is what real success is. So figure out what that definition looks like for you, because my definition of success is very different from other people's, but you figure out that definition and you align your life with that definition. Nurture your social capital, because who you know matters. Social currency is a real thing, okay? A lot of people are focusing on trying to get their money up. You need to work on getting your social currency up. The rooms that you're in, you know, the people that you meet, the way that you treat other people, all of that adds up down the line. People people remember that. People will remember you. It doesn't necessarily mean being transactional. What I'm saying is to be more intentional about the spaces that you're in, the people that you're choosing to meet, and the places that you want to set yourself up to be in. You need to listen deeply, be intentional, be an active listener. When people are speaking, you listen, supporting other people without having any expectation of receiving something back. Staying in touch with other people and checking in on people, following up, speaking well about other people. It also means putting yourself in spaces where growth will happen for you. Networking events, industry dinners, community gatherings, community events. Those are not just opportunities for you, but are also a place for investments. And the truth of the matter is your next opportunity is often one conversation away. So really work on nurturing your relationships, the relationships that are in front of you right now, the same way that you would nurture your goals, with time, with care, and with sincerity. This is my definition of what I would say is important. It may not be important for you, but really anchoring your spirituality, even in a very fast world. I think that in a world that really glorifies hustle, constantly being on the go, the most radical thing that you can do for yourself is slow down and actually remember your purpose. Now, for many top 1% of women, success isn't something that is necessarily just external, but it is something that is deeply spiritual. A lot of these women start their day with intention, start their days with, prayer and presence, whatever that looks like for them. For me personally, if I don't structure my day around salah, forget about it. There is no success in my day. Because being in that moment of prayer for me as a Muslim allows me to pause and reconnect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also allows me to understand that I'm connecting with something that is greater than myself. And I remember that choosing to pray the salah is bringing in so much barakah, and often will come when you choose to be in alignment rather than focusing too much on being ambitious. Grounding yourself in faith will build clarity, and it will purify your intentions, and it will strengthen your resilience, and it will remind you that you are not building this life for yourself alone, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is behind you every single step of the way. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says, verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. And being spiritually anchored doesn't take away from your goals and the things that you want in your life. Instead, it will actually deepen those goals for yourself and make it more likely for you to succeed. Creating systems and not just goals. Now, I've talked about this so many times in many of my videos. You cannot rely on your willpower. You need to actually create systems in order to see your goals flourish and to see those goals come into fruition. You have to understand that motivation comes and goes. You cannot rely on motivation to push you through and to succeed in life. But systems are the things that will stay. Systems are rigid and they stay in your life. And goals are really great for direction, right? They give us an idea of what we want, but systems are what will actually get you there. This could mean, for example, really setting up your environment to support your habits. For example, prepping your meals for the week, or automating your savings so that every time you make a certain amount of money, it goes a certain percentage of goes straight into your savings, or laying out your gym clothes the night before so that you see that and you know that you're heading to the gym, or using tools like time blocking, checklists, digital planners to really help you with keeping on track. Systems reduce friction, and it will really help you with saving your mental energy. And more importantly, they will make your success inevitable, because you don't actually have to think your way into being disciplined every single day. You just follow the system. That you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. When I tell you that quote is drilled into my mind, that is literally one of my favorite quotes from his books, because it is so true. It will make the right things an easy thing and watch your life change. Last but not least is really building a relationship with your future self. Don't just react to things, right? They respond with their future self in mind. They think about, if I do this thing, what would future me think? Will doing this thing allow future me to be happy? Will this thing make future me feel content with the decision that I've made? Ask yourself, what does future me need from me today? How can I make her life easier? How can I make her life more softer, more expansive? Whether it's saving a little bit of money every single day, whether it's, having that really difficult conversation that you've been avoiding, or investing in your health, or learning a new skill. You are building for her. Visualizing your future self will help you to make better decisions today, because it gives you perspective, and it also keeps you grounded in purpose. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're getting closer and closer to becoming that version of yourself that you've always dreamed of being. Writing letters to your future self, where you're speaking to future you, imagining what her mornings would look like, imagining the house that she would live in, imagining what her family life would look like, thinking about what she wears, how she feels, who she surrounds herself with, and then reverse engineer your way to her. Your future self is watching you right now through all of your memories, and you really want to live your life in a way that would make future you feel proud. Now, all of these habits are not rooted in trying to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. Rather, it's about being aligned and living your life with intention, and really choosing every single day again and again to live a life in alignment and with intention to become that person that that you've always wanted to become and to become that woman that you're becoming. So which of these habits are you already living and which ones you want to commit to for the month? Comment down below which one you feel like you really want to work on, which one really inspired you. And I really hope, inshallah, you found this video helpful. If you did, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget that the gap between the life that you have and the life that you want isn't as big as it feels. It is just a few powerful habits away. And if you choose to implement these things, you will see your life shift for the better. You got this. I know that you guys will do incredible. I pray, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes everything easy for you. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you guys so much. Bye.